Councillor Mapulo, officials from the department, and ladies and gentlemen of the relevant industries. Everyone here that is here understands that biodiversity describes the variety of life in an area, including the number of different species, the genetic wealth within each species, the interrelationships between them, the natural areas where they occur. And South Africa has an immensely rich species diversity, but many are threatened. So research into biodiversity and environmental education are crucial. Polokwane Municipality is proud that our University of Limpopo has a biodiversity center. I'm here representing the Executive Mayor of Polokwane, Councillor Freddie Griever. He sends his apology, but also his congratulations to the department for this initiative. And he wishes you to feel warmly welcomed. As a municipality, we are extremely pleased and excited about this ongoing dialogue, assisting us to preserve our natural wealth and also the economic opportunities it can bring. Although threatened by growing populations making demands through development, agriculture and urbanization, also both invasive alien vegetation and the illegal trade in wildlife, all these contribute to a problem. And we hope that this dialogue will be part of solving this. I hope you all feel warmly welcome today to Polokwane and enjoy your stay with us, especially those that have traveled from far to be here. Before you leave, spend some money in our regional shopping mall and enjoy what we have to offer here. May this dialogue continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director, and good morning to all of you. I can see that you're still tired from the hectic program last night. I'm told you were really busy. To the Executive Mayor of Polokwane, Mayor Hadi, my colleague and member of the Executive Council from Mpumalanga, Mayor Pinky Posa, the Executive Mayor of Capricorn District Municipality, Mtate Lawrence Mapulo, the Deputy Director General of Biodiversity and Conservation, Date Fundisile Keteni, the leadership of national parks, provincial parks, reserves, and agencies, the leadership of hunting associations and other associations representing various subsectors in the wildlife industry, and representatives of the biodiversity, trade and bioprospecting sector, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. You have been informed already that I am speaking here today on behalf of the Minister, Mayor Namulewa, who is not able to be with us here due to the commitments that she has. However, I believe that our presence here with Neposa still ensure that the work that has been tailored out for her is able to move on and we are able to progress. This is a unique opportunity to interact and share best practice and inform policy by pulling together the knowledge of leaders and captains of industries in the biodiversity economy, including the hunting, game, farming and related activity industries, as well as the bioprospecting, natural products and biotrade industries. As I committed in the department, remember it's the Minister, as I committed in the department's budget vote earlier this year, we will embark on a dedicated program to provide support to the hunting and bioprospecting industries. This is in order to promote South Africa as a destination of choice for hunting and as one of the most resource-rich countries to contribute to bioprospecting. Our two-day conference, which started with a technical session yesterday, is just one of the many interventions we planned in this regard. South Africa is an important emerging market with an abundant supply of natural resources and ranks as the third most mega biodiverse country in the world. As such, we recognize that there is a need to balance economic and other development goals with that of environmental sustainability for the benefit of present and the future generations. Our natural capital is both of a focus area of the green economy strategy and an area of intervention identified in the National Sustainable Development Strategy. To many people, biodiversity is a misunderstood concept. In simple terms, biodiversity is all the plants and animals that we have, as well as their interactions and the differences between them. These interactions, which also include human beings, provide us with a number of essential natural services that we call ecosystem services. These services include food production, material for shelter, clean air and water, medicine, as well as places for healing and enjoyment. Moreover, the ecosystem services that are derived from biodiversity are considered alongside its potential to yield economic benefits, contributing towards improving livelihoods and creating employment. These are the foundation of human well-being, and as the industries in the hunting sector and biotrade also indicate, a vital source of many of our livelihoods. And therefore, biodiversity is life. The biodiversity economy, which is part of our green economy, is uniquely placed to give us a competitive edge in our growing economy. South Africa views the green economy as a sustainable development path that is based on addressing the interdependence between economic growth, social protection, and natural ecosystems. The South African National Biodiversity Institute has calculated that South African ecological goods and services are valued at 73 billion, equivalent to about 3% of the national GDP. Let me allow that figure to sink in once more, 73 billion, so we all understand what it means. The sustainable use of indigenous biological resource is fundamental to the development of South African economy. The bioprospecting, wildlife ranching, and the hunting industries in particular are also integral to our contribution to sustainable development and green jobs in South Africa. Recent estimates have placed the bioprospecting industry's contribution to the nation's GDP as 2.1 billion, which places the overall contribution of the direct utilization of indigenous biological resources at 8.3 billion. In the previous financial year, the entire value chain of the hunting industry contributed some 6.2 billion to the South African GDP, and according to Wildlife Ranching South Africa, the commercial wildlife ranching industry contributed 9 billion to the GDP. It has also been reported in a recent study by the University of Northwest that local hunters spend on average 2.6 billion on general expenses and further 3.96 billion on game animals annually. There's a contribution of the 6.56 billion based on the 2010 year. The Professional Hunters Association of South Africa, which is represented here today, has put the overall value of wildlife industry to the national economy at 7.7 billion. The industry is said to employ 140,000 people. The Confederation of Hunting Associations of South Africa says that the sector is now bigger than the sugar and dairy industries. our department calculated that the revenue generated directly by hunting in the year 2010 was at 560 million. Invest 5 million rands in cattle and in 5 years you will earn a return of 4.8 on your money. And invest the same amount of money in a sable antelope and the value of your investment could go up to 45.2%. This is according to the figures drawn from the 2013 APSA Agricultural Outlook. I hope the mayors are listening. Commercial wildlife ranches cover 16.8 of the country's landmass, with about half of this in Limpopo province, where we have gathered here today. The Northern Cape is about 20%, with the Eastern Cape home to 12% of the country ranches. In addition to this, South Africa in 2013 has 60 more wildlife than it did in 1900, and a total of about 16 million game animals now inhabit our land. The value of the game has also increased exponentially. Rare animals such as the sable antelope can bring returns of over 45% on investment, while a buffalo with a good pedigree can attract incredible prizes at auction. Some of you may recall the auction in 2012 where a single buffalo cow and a single bull were sold for 20 million and 26 million respectively. More recently, in September this year, 2013, a single buffalo bull was sold for 40 million rands. This auction brought in total 230 million. These are not figures to be taken lightly, as this is a sector with the scope to do much more to improve the lives of our communities. The bioprospecting industry, based on export trends, has grown on average by 6.0 per year over the period of 2001 up to date. The potential market size of the bioprospecting industry, based on resource permit application data, is at least 2 million rands per year. This means that the current industry has raised by only about 20% of its potential, and thus has a large growth potential. This market might grow to between 600 million and 800 million over the next 5 years. That's between 2013 and 2018. The bioprospecting sector is an important job creation sector. Job creation occurs throughout the whole value chain, and the value chain segments of wild harvesting, cultivation, and biotrading hold the highest potential for generating new job opportunities. These segments together currently generate an estimated 2,100 jobs, which is possible that an additional 700 to 1,700 new jobs may be created in this industry by 2018, depending on the market growth trajectory achieved. The wildlife sector has also created and still has a potential for job creation. Between 5,000 and 6,000 jobs are provided by the industry, while approximately 63,000 jobs are provided by the secondary industries such as tourism. According to the Professional Hunters Association of South Africa, an average of 14 jobs are created across the value chain for every one international hunter tourist that visit our shores. Private sector support and contribution by institutes such as the Confederation of Hunters Association of South Africa and the Professional Hunters Association of South Africa to education, empowerment, job creation, and skills development is acknowledged with appreciation. CHASA's contribution to skills development in the sector is evident from their training programs for primary, secondary, and tertiary level learners. Primary school children are also exposed to nature-related activities such as photography, camping, hiking, and hunting, while being taught the importance of sustainable utilization and protection of our natural resources. Secondary school children are also offered a training program on the principles of sustainable utilization through responsible and sustainable hunting, while tertiary level students studying towards a qualification in game range management are supported through additional short courses, firearm training, and providing support to students with applications for firearm licenses. The Professional Hunters Association of South Africa has joined forces with the NGO Toys for Africa and are distributing educational toys with a message about conservation and sustainable utilization. It is reported that 12,000 children have already benefited from this initiative in the last 3 months. The Professional Hunters Association of South Africa has also raised 9 million over the past 7 years for the South African Wildlife College, where more than 900 previously disadvantaged individuals, including women, have been trained and equipped with skills and knowledge to work in the wildlife sector. Since the regulations of bioprospecting, access and benefiting sharing came into effect, 14 bioprospecting and biotraders permits were approved and issued. 20 benefit sharing agreements and 70 material transfer agreements were concluded with access provided in traditional knowledge holders, which provide for monetary and non-monetary benefits for communities, were approved. And over 450 communities are involved in harvesting, cultivation, processing and packaging of the products. These permits therefore contribute significantly to job creation, poverty alleviation, improving health, creation of equitable society, which are government's main priorities. Ladies and gentlemen, the transition to a green economy in South Africa is linked to several key policies, strategies and plans, including amongst others the 2030 National Development Plan as endorsed by Cabinet in 2012. Other strategic documents which refer to the need to manage the nation's natural resources base for sustainable development includes the 2020 New Growth Path endorsed by Cabinet in 2011, 2014 National Strategy for Sustainable Development endorsed by Cabinet in 2011, the National Climate Change Response Policy endorsed by Cabinet in 2011, as well as the Industrial Policy Action Plan. In addition to the Department of Environmental Affairs has established a new Chief Directorate for the promotion of development of the biodiversity economy. The development of a national biodiversity economy development strategy, known as NBEDS, is one of the key focus areas of this newly created Chief Directorate. The NBEDS will focus on realizing economic benefits from South African indigenous biological resources. Despite the rich biological diversity of South Africa, relatively few species are economically utilized. Export and use of South Africans' biodiversity, particularly plant resources and animal products, are not yet well documented. This may very well contribute to limitations in deriving maximum benefits from our biological richness. The new Chief Directorate that I have mentioned will be driving this responsibility. The biodiversity sector is evolving and anticipates a new development paradigm, which can be summarized as conservation is good for business and business is good for conservation, close quote. Government, however, faces trade-offs daily. Effective conservation cannot and will not be driven just by conservation for conservation's sake. We will have to ensure that our wealth for our natural resources is managed and used in such a way that it benefits all our people now and for years to come. Mainstreaming sustainability as we build our green economy is no longer a nice to have, but a must have if we are to remain internationally competitive and in order to ensure that there is still healthy biodiversity in our country. Government increasingly recognize that maintaining and eventually accounting to our natural capital comes down to a question of social and economic development. There may not be simple wins all the time, but there are approaches that come close enough. Biodiversity resources are a renewable resource when it is utilized within its capacity. Biodiversity can therefore be one of the cornerstones of sustainable development, and it is a renewable economy. Sustainable use is therefore critical for our development, especially for developing and like-minded mega-diverse countries. These issues are critical for South Africa if we are to reduce the direct pressure on biodiversity and profile biodiversity as the cornerstone of sustainable development, especially through sustainable use. The department has started demonstrating the biodiversity economy in the Bushbuckridge area using the natural assets found in that region. It has been proven that our natural assets contribute to sustainable growth and poverty reduction, and therefore should reflect the priorities of the poor. We all know that Bushbuckridge municipality is one of the poorest and have been earmarked for prioritization by government. A total of 70 million has been kept or put aside to kickstart implementation of this biodiversity economic project in the Bushbuckridge area. With this Bushbuckridge project, we want to have a vibrant local economy based on sustainably managing of natural assets in ways that involve and empower people and our community.